Yeah, count me down. If you like what you see, like, subscribe.
Ready to educate. Nothing will be the same. No fear, no shame, no tears. Nothing but love in here.
Okay, guys, we are back.
What's going on, man?
Season 2 on the podcast.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm ready.
Yes, me.
I'm very excited.
We have some good things coming.
Yeah, it's good to be here, for real.
Yep. So we're back. Me and Madukes podcast, and this is season 2, and we're coming to you harder. We're gonna go stronger. We want to be in your face. We want to have all the conversations and all the topics, all the things that you guys want to discuss and we want to discuss, and the things that we want to bring to the forefront as well. So we just want to start by welcoming Daniel back. Welcome back, son.
Back. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah,
know.
man. I'm here now, though. I'm home.
How you
home.
feeling?
Home for good.
I'm good, man. I'm in my element. You feel me? I feel
Nice.
natural again.
How does it feel to be, well, let me first ask you, how did it feel to be away from family and everything that you grew up knowing and being in a whole different country with a whole different language and culture and everything?
It kind of was like, putting my life on pause. It's like kind of like stepping out of reality, if you could take it like that. Living in Japan, I was living in Japan for 4 years, away from everything. I visit every couple months or something like that. I visit.
Yeah.
But like being gone, everything, the world still move on without you. That's what you really see.
Wow.
I'm gone for so long, and Japan, nothing. There's no motion going on out there. So it's not like I'm busy or I'm doing something all the time.
Right.
But everything's still going back home. I'm come back home. I see different things. I see people doing different things, and my sister's growing up, Jonathan growing up. It's crazy.
Does it feel like you're left out, like you're being left out of things?
In a way, yeah, because you still, like I said, you see through social media, through phone calls you hear and stuff like that. It's like everybody doing what they doing and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting over here like,
I'm over here.
waiting to come back.
Biding time.
But at the same time, it gives me a different perspective. I get to see an outlook and take different angles at things. That's what I'm grateful for too.
Right.
Okay, good. How did it feel to have him not be around for 4 years?
Yeah, for me, I'm just gonna say, in the beginning, it was kind of really hard because it felt like the house was a lot quieter.
Yes.
And when Daniel was here, he used to get into so much trouble.
Yeah.
So
We don't need TV. We had Daniel.
one of the things that I feared for when Daniel left, it was him not being there. But another thing was all the attention turning on us now.
Yeah.
And I feel like with him being gone, it really changed. It really helped me grow as a person. It really changed me because it would always be us two. We had a room since however old we were.
Sure.
So it always be us two. We always talking, fighting, whatever we is. But when you left, it was like it forced me to I didn't have someone to always talk to every single day, like a brother. Mm-hmm. So it was like it forced me to be more of a critical thinker. It forced me to be more in my head. So it's like
Yeah.
So it shaped the way I think more or less, like what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
I also feel like Daniel not being here, it gave all three of us, me, Jonathan, and Jasmine, us chance to kind of bond a little bit
closer,
more and
yeah.
get closer. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
How does it feel now that he's back and now that you're back? How do you feel?
I feel free. It's like I'm here.
For me, it was kind of weird. Like, it was weird when he was leaving, but now that he's back, we have to get used to him being a part of our lives again. And I just kind of feel, like I got to get used to it.
And I feel like him being away, it made us appreciate when somebody's away. It made us appreciate their time more and make more of an effort to spend time. So now that he's back, it's like we have to savor every moment because we never know when one of us is going to go away again.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm excited because it's all the stuff we have planned and just my bro home. So it's just like now I could just be out doing more things and just be with my brother all the time.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a
like,
different dynamic.
I feel like my life is just. I've been out the house for a while. You feel me? I've been gone, but I feel like my life is really not finna start taking off. Like back in Japan, some of the opportunities I didn't have, or some of the things I wanted to do, but I couldn't do because I was in Japan. I could do now. I'm home. I'm free. No more curfews. No more this and that.
Oh, no.
I'm home. I can really establish myself now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm happy. I'm around family again. You know, I'm mama's boy. So
Yay.
I'm back where I need to be at. I'm back with my sisters. I'm in love right now.
Yeah, when Daniel left, we were going into 9th grade.
Yeah.
And we've all just grown. And in a way, I was kind of sad for a little bit because I'm like, he's coming back. And we're about to be 18, and
He missed a lot.
yeah,
I missed everything.
But there's more stuff coming, so that's the good thing about
In the
it.
future, that's what I'm happy for.
Yes, yes, and that's why it pays to have a optimistic outlook.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't go back in the past and get the time that you've lost, but you can certainly squeeze the life out of what you have left. You know,
facts.
and being away really makes you appreciate.
The little things.
The little things and see, you know, you had an opportunity to really step away and be away from everything that, you know, you possibly could have taken for granted because it was always there. And now when you come back, you can see it through a different lens.
Yeah.
You being away was one of the hardest things for me. Oh my gosh, to go from seeing your child every single day of your child's life for the most part, except for a few days when you might sleep over at someone's house or something like that. But you know that person is coming back right away to actually going to where you don't see them at all. And sometimes you don't talk to them for weeks at a time, you know, or days at a time. That was so nerve-wracking for me. And I completely forgot that you were in Japan. So, the time difference. Well, I didn't forget you were in Japan, but I forgot the time difference.
Yeah,
so
that's
when you
something
would
I have
call
to
me on your day, it will be my night, and I will wake up freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, it's 12 o'clock, it's 1 o'clock, why is he calling? I hope everything is okay. And God had to say to me one time, like, this is his day. You want him to call you at night. That means he's okay. When he's calling you in the middle of the day, that's probably when you need to worry, because that's his night that he should be sleeping. So, you know, I don't think I was fully prepared to not see you days on end and weeks on end and not talking to you and stuff like that. So that really prepared me for what I knew was coming sooner or later with the twins and with Jonathan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like growing up. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I feel like growing up, you have this way of like thinking or a way of, oh, okay, I feel like life is gonna be like this, or you have, cause you see all this different stuff about different other families or on TV, so you think you know how it's gonna be. But when you grow up, you get a real idea of, okay, this is life. Life is forever changing, and life is like, it's way different than what you think it is growing up.
you may have your plans, but
Definitely.
sometimes the plans
You
change.
get that reality check. That reality check.
And the thing is, there were a lot of things that Daniel never saw, and there's a lot of things that, of course, we never seen from Daniel. Like, I remember one Christmas, we were at Granny's house, and Daniel called for Christmas to tell us, like, happy Merry Christmas and everything.
Yeah.
And Mommy had to give us the phone, and she started, like, bawling. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh. I didn't want you to know that I was crying. But you called and we started talking to you and I just could not contain myself. I was just like, somebody else need to get the phone, and I just bawled. I just cried and cried and cried. And oh my gosh, it was just,
that was one of the other
emotional.
things. Yeah, what Mommy just touched on. It was not the lack of communication, but like what she said, his nighttime were our day.
yeah.
So yeah, it was really hard to like try to get a hold of you. Like I would be like, "Hey, Daniel, something fun happened," and I wouldn't hear from you because sometimes you'd be out to sea and everything as well. So it's kind of, that part of it was hard. But like I said, it made me be more appreciative of Jonathan and Jasmine and everybody else.
And another thing that happened when he was gone is like, when we were all younger and Daniel was there, we all kind of learned from him as he made his mistakes. And
I made a lot of them.
he made a lot of them. But when he went away, we all had a chance to ground ourselves and to really learn for ourselves and make mistakes for ourselves and learn and become stronger as people.
Yes, because you didn't have that, you know, you didn't have that, oh, I don't want to do that.
I see what he's doing. I'm going to go the opposite way.
That was gone for a little bit. So, yeah. But now that you're back, I can tell you this. Like, at one point, I was really, really excited for you to come back and be stationed right here in Jacksonville. And then when it actually became a reality, like, it was very impossible, right? And we were praying and believing God for it. And then when it became a possibility and you would come home on vacation and you would go hang out with your friends all night, and I would be like, oh my gosh, this is what he's coming back home to do. I don't know. Yeah, he should have got stationed in Washington or something. And then, you know, with of course, all the gun violence and police stuff that's going on, you're like, do I really want my child to come back to America? I wish that we were all packing up and going to Japan.
Going to him.
Yeah, but you're back now, and I'm so, so happy. Like you said, I feel like so many things that we had on hold and on pause, we're finally going to have the opportunity to move forward. And I think that we work so much better as a unit because we're so close,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it really, it really gives us, and oh my gosh, you guys get to be young adults together. How
Yeah.
cool is that? So one question that I have for you, how does being apart bring us together?
That's a good question.
I feel like it does because when you're apart for so long, you start to see then the person is away. So it's like, and as more days go by consecutively, it's like you see why every little thing that the person did is gone. So it's like, so you get used to it. So it's like all the small things that he used to did, you start to appreciate it more because it's like, oh man, I miss when he used to do this, or I just miss when this little
facts,
thing
yeah.
used to go on. So when they come back, it's like you have a different appreciation and you feel it way more now. It's like a way more surreal feeling.
It's exactly that. Like being in Japan and even the little everyday situations, or I might go out. Say I go to Tokyo, like that's crazy, right? Going to Tokyo.
I know. I used to feel so jealous when you would say, I'm on the way to Tokyo. I'll be like, okay.
I'll be out there and I'll see something, or I'll see the flower blossoms or something like that, and I'm like, oh man, I know the twins. I know mommy would really like seeing this. Or I go to a Kicks lab, or I go to a Nike outlet or something like that, or Gucci or something like that. I'm like, damn, Jonathan should have seen this or something like that.
Yeah,
So-
and also the saying "love makes the heart grow fonder." I think when somebody's that's not the saying.
Absence. There you go, Jada. Jada got it. Absence.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
And really that became a reality when Daniel left, and it's like we had to make more of an effort to reach out to him, taking all the things into consideration, time, whether he was out to sea or not. And now that he's here, we realize we made more of an effort when he was gone, so now we have to bring that effort here now that he's back.
Yeah, it's
And-
good.
Yeah, just
It's
be
like
with each other more.
I remember mommy saying, she said when Daniel's here, she'd have to make sure she get the most out of every kiss and out of every hug. So now that he's here, you gotta do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it brings about a different sense of intentionality. It makes you, because you know what it's like to be apart,
Yeah.
and because you've experienced it and you actually feel the
Right.
emotions, the highs and lows of being apart.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate so much more being together. So in that sense, being apart makes you be more strategic and intentional about being together.
you're doing, yeah.
You're actually making sure that you're making those calls, that
you
you're
know
saying
how
you
it
love
feels
you.
when they're gone.
Yes, because you know how it feels. And I think, Jonathan, for you it was really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me and
it was a
Dana
whole
had each
journey,
other,
man,
but
growing up.
yeah,
But I think the way God works is so funny because I feel like that's what I needed at the same time when he was.
Facts.
Even though he was away, I missed him, but I still needed that time for myself to see things and to grow and to do things. So when he come back now, our conversations are way much different than they used
Wow.
to be.
Facts,
Wow. Yeah. That's growth.
That's crazy.
That's growth. That's what growth does.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a question for Daniel.
Go ahead.
Were you shocked to see? I know you saw pictures and videos and everything, but when you actually came back, were you shocked to see how much we've matured and how big we've got?
Yeah, for sure. Like 100%. I was totally shocked. Like I know I come back every couple months and that, but like coming back and actually being here, knowing that I'm not leaving and seeing how y'all move, y'all got jobs, y'all driving now, stuff like that. It's crazy to me. I'm like, I left, y'all wasn't even thinking about driving. I wasn't thinking about y'all driving at all. Like y'all got jobs, y'all making your own money, y'all go out sometime with your friends and stuff like that. It's a lot of adjusting I got to do because I always want to be like, where y'all going?
Yeah.
Where are y'all?
Y'all about to be 18, y'all graduated high school, like
It's like he's another.
it's like I gotta adapt again to talk to and get around with my siblings as adults now.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Learning how to navigate that new stage of life
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's like sometimes I'm talking to Daniel. It's like it's kind of weird because you gotta kind of switch your mindset because we're all young adults. Like, does this make sense? Like,
Yeah.
So if you guys had to tell people or someone about, okay, I guess I gotta get my question right.
oh, she's funny that I remember when me and Jasmine started driving, Mommy would always stand outside and see us off down the road, and it's funny how you start doing that too.
Yeah, I mean that's just something that I guess I get it from Mommy and I get it from growing up, but. I always stand outside and wait for the person that's leaving to leave.
Yeah.
I think that's a Caribbean thing, though, because I find that when I go to some of my American friends' house to visit, or even with Jesse, sometimes when people come to visit and they're leaving, he's like, okay, they're going, and I'm like, no, let's stand away.
You let me see me off?
Because that's how it is in the islands, everybody stand. I mean, you guys saw it when we went home for Christmas. Like, everybody would stand and wait for the person to get out of sight, But in America, they just, close the garage, close the door. Bye, see you later.
Some people I don't do that with because
right.
they'll sit outside in their car for a minute. I'm just sitting outside the driveway just watching the car like, when are you going to leave, man? But, yeah, with the twins and with Mommy, and I still do it with Miss Jessie and Jonathan. It's just, I don't know, it's like, it's in me.
Like instinct.
It's a thing. You just want to make sure they leave okay. Yeah. Everything is okay. But the question that I wanted to ask is, what is one thing as we wrap up this, our first, oh my gosh, this is our first season, our first episode of season 2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is something else. Anyway, what is one thing you would like for families to know about separation amounts, or the separation that actually happens as children become young adults? And that's the separation from high school, going off to college or going off to the military or going to a different country, just that separation that happens when one person in the family leaves everyone behind. Or how does it feel with your sibling leaving? Like, what is some encouragement that you would give people or families that will be going through the same thing? Some of the things that you guys didn't think about and that happened, and you're like, oh, I wish I could have, seen that hindsight. So give our audiences your hindsight.
Okay, I'm going to go first before I lose my train of thought. So a lot of times we focus on the family that stays and not the person going away. And I think we should focus more on that because a lot of things happen and we really don't have a clue what's going on in their end. So I think reaching out and just being more, like I said earlier, more intentional about reaching out and talking to them and having conversations, letting them know we didn't forget about you. We're still here. And if you still want to talk, we'll talk. And I think that will offer them the support they need and encouragement that they need while they're away.
Yeah, that's deep. That's good, focusing more, because I found, and I must admit, that there were times when Daniel was gone that I didn't forget about him, but I just started to cope. I just started to move on with life,
I feel
and
so bad
just
to say that, but
and just feel like, I remember when he first left, I'll be like, oh, I'll send you boxes, I'll send you care packages, and I start off, and then as time went by, I just
it became a new norm.
It became a new norm, and in that, I neglected to do some of the things that he probably would have appreciated. I think I took for granted the fact that, he can always call if he wants to call or, FaceTime. But what I didn't consider is a lot of times when people are going through things, they don't call, and they don't reach out. That's the time that they tend to fall back into themselves. So that's a good thing about being intentional, about focusing on them, even though they're away, because everybody that's left behind have each other, and they may have friends and stuff, but they may not have family. Or even people who knows them, who can say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, this isn't you, this isn't who you are.
Yeah, that's a good point.
God got a funny way of always making sure somebody around me to whip me in the shape. I don't know what it is.
He knows you need that special attention.
Went to Japan, and my homeboy Clark, he makes sure. He old head too, but he makes sure I'm always on my P's and Q's.
Well, thank God for Clark.
I want to say, for the people going away to college or anything, just and their families, just make sure they know they're loved and you appreciate them before they leave. And it's gonna sting at first, but like I said, like we all said, it's you're gonna get used to it. They're gonna be doing their stuff. You're gonna be doing yours, and before you know it, they're gonna be back like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't decide to stay wherever they went to.
If I wasn't in the military, I'd have stayed
In Japan,
in Japan.
I don't blame you.
we probably would have come over
Yeah.
and make you want to come back. We would have dragged you back. I would have pulled a mama card for sure. I would have been like, listen, we got an island. We got a saying in the island that said, "Mi meka, mi kelam." I would say, I brought you into this world. You better come back. What you would say, John?
I would say those times where like they're away and you have that thought, or you'll just have that thought of them, or you'll just think of them, or you're doing something random and it just comes into your head or something like that. Just always make that the norm to just reach out, or make that the start to just reach out, because you never know why that start is in your head, or what that person is going through in that moment. You could have been that person. You are that person, just to reach out and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you. You never know how that's gonna make them feel.
Yeah. And he definitely did that a lot. I get
Or just send them encouraging messages and just make sure they know. Make sure they know they still thought about, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would get messages from Jonathan like at the most random times, and I know he had to just think about me and say, "Okay, I'm gonna hit him up," because random times, and then he'll send a message, I'll reply, no reply back. He'll just
Yeah, and I know.
stop and have a little convo.
Yeah, and I know I'm guilty of doing this. I'll be like, I need to text Daniel and check on him and see how he's doing, and I feel so bad saying this, but I would just keep putting it off and putting it off, and before I know it, the day is done, and I'm like, oh, I didn't reach out, I didn't talk to Daniel, and then it just gets days and days pile up, and then it's just like, before you know it, it's like a week passed by, I haven't talked to him. So that's another thing to be mindful of, just
make sure you're being intentional.
Yeah.
If I would have say something, I would say have a discussion before you leave. You know, definitely prepare the people who are being left behind for this thing of what it's gonna feel like. Okay, your brother or your sister is leaving in 2 weeks or in 6 weeks or whatever it is. Let's make the most of this time. Let's be intentional about maybe praying together, maybe going to the movies, hanging out, doing some things together. And what is it going to feel like, especially if you have a younger sibling? You know, is it you're going to wake up some days and miss him. You may want to cry, you know. You may want him back. You may feel sad. You're going to go through these emotions, you know, and these things are going to happen, but it's normal. And then talk about what you can do to counteract those things. And maybe have the siblings make an agreement with each other. Like, okay, we'll call each other, just you and I will have one-on-one time this particular time. And of course, you're going to leave room for if something comes up and it needs to change, if schedules change or something like that. But set that intention to stay connected and stay in touch with each other.
Daniel, do you have any tips or anything that people going away should be mindful about? Because we haven't really touched on that as much.
Yeah.
It depends on your stage of life, right? So, like me, if you were like me, you left the house straight out of high school, then I got a couple things I can tell you. For anybody really, it's not what it seems like. It's never what it seems like. You're leaving the house, coming from me. I'm in the household with my mom and everybody around me, so I'm getting the love that I need. I'm getting the help. I'm getting the support and everything like that. And generally, I'm around a lot of. Normally, I'm around a lot of people that's nice, happy people, like willing to give, willing to help out. But outside, it's not always like that, and you got to prepare yourself for the cold that's out there. Prepare yourself for that. That's one of the biggest things I can say that I wish I knew before I stepped out, because when you get out there, nobody really looking out for you like that. Like they might want you to do great, want you to be great, but at the same time, they're not gonna give you that same love, that same care, that same patience that a family will give you.
So they're not invested and committed like your family is. You know, they're just along and they wish you well, and you might find one or two people who's gonna stick with you and be in your corner, but it's not gonna be the same, like the big old support that you have at home. Some people have, some people don't. But you know, if you are coming from that environment, that's one of the things that you want to mentally prepare yourself for. So, but hey, you're back home, and we're happy to have you back home. And you know, I still get to steal my kisses. Now you're the only child. Well, the others do let me get it in because I've said this over and over and over. Daniel is the only child that would still take my hugs and kisses and be like, Mommy, give me all. I don't care how much you got. Just give it to me.
Certified mama's boy.
Verified. So, yeah, guys, we are so happy to be back. We can't wait.
Great things are coming.
Yes, to have all conversations and keep it moving. But so long for season 1. I think we...
So much more on the way, though.
Okay, with that, we are out.
Peace out, man.
Hey, so that's it. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. New episodes drop Wednesdays each week. Remember to hit the notification button so you never miss when we post. See you later. Bye.